Dallas Craft, everyone. And our fabulous band. Oh, anybody in here ready to be brave? Just let the words fall out. One of our core values is authenticity. And what that means is that that thing that is alive in each of us, that thing that is yours and no one else's, that thing that is you, is seeking a greater expression always. Always. Right? There's always that which we are. Anybody in here ever feel that yearning? Ever feel that call to be greater? Yeah, I see in some hands. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay, because I don't want to feel alone up here, people. So what Unity believes is, so we believe in the power of the word. We believe in the power of the spoken word. We believe that there is something that happens when we actually align ourselves. So what is language? Language is a way that we try to articulate an embodied, intuitive awareness of something. And we give it a word. And that word means something to us. Does that word mean the same thing to everybody in here? No. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. And that's why when Unity prays, we do it extemporaneously. Find the word that speaks for the most authentic aspect and understanding of who you are. And so what we do on the White Stone celebration is we say, what is the word today? And this word today, what if it was my word for all of 2024? What if I said yes? Now, I told you, got to be brave. I can already feel people trying to squirm, right? Like, I can do it for a day. I could maybe even do it for a week, a whole year. This is what we call practice. This is the practice. So the power of the word and the power to have a word or a phrase, I give you the wiggle room there, right, that guides you through this coming year. That is what I would call your due north. That is the thing that you are saying, I am going to inhabit this more fully. It might be something you already understand yourself to be. It might be something that you don't even know. Is everyone open to being surprised in the meditation? Yes. Right? Because we're going to do a meditation. You may think you know, but there is that which you are, that is the knower, that actually knows. And that's what we're going to try to tap into today. And so as you are allowing yourself to access this from your most authentic understanding of yourself, this is like, It's a Wonderful Life. People know this film, yes? And when George is in his alternate reality, where his family doesn't exist, and he's freaking out. Can anybody relate to freaking out because the world around you doesn't feel like it should? Anybody relate to that experience? And what George keeps doing is he keeps reaching into his pocket. And what is he reaching into his pocket for? Zuzu's petals, right? He's reaching in for Zuzu's petals because that is his true north. And he keeps trying to re-anchor himself in Zuzu's petals. And when they finally are there, when reality realigns itself, he is so relieved, the expression on his face when he actually finds them there. So I want to invite you to think about your white stone as being your Zuzu's petals. It's the thing that you can keep coming back to. Are you going to be able to align with that word every single moment of every single day for the next 365 days? I hope you can, and if you do, come teach me, please, right? The practice is how do we realign ourselves? The practice is how do we come back to our center? So another way you can think about it is as a lighthouse. Right? And I got this quote from the movie Slumberland, and I just loved it. It really resonated for me, right? Which is, he asks his daughter, what is the point of the lighthouse? And she says, it's to keep the ship safe. And his reply to that is, when you get the right answer, which happens at the end of the movie, right? Then you can run the lighthouse. And the answer that he is looking for is that the lighthouse is there to guide you on your journey. And most importantly, the part I love the most, is that they're not there to keep ships safe, because otherwise we would never leave the harbor. This is where bravery comes in. What is it that you are claiming, well, naming first for yourself this year with the Whitestone? What is it that you're saying, this is who I want to be this year? This is how I want to show up this year. Now, we did a ritual last week, and at the end of it, everyone who was here got a 12 power card. Your 12 power card could absolutely be your Whitestone word, but it doesn't have to be. And if anybody would like to pick a 12 power card, we do have them, right? So you can do that still as well. So if we name something, what we understand has to happen next in our understanding is that we now have to claim it. It's not enough just to say, oh, I want that. Can you feel the difference between saying like, oh, well, I am love. Now, how am I actually going to do that? What does it actually mean? I have to claim that as the truth of my being. And so the claiming piece is what we're going to move into when we step into the divine letters. And the divine letters, I love this quote from Eric Butterworth, God can only work for you to the degree that God can work through you. What we know and believe in unity is that we are not separate. We are not separate from God. And we also don't believe that God is a being. We understand God as beingness. And so beingness, consciousness, awakeness, awareness can only work for you to the degree that you allow it to work through you. And that's what the letter writing is all about. The letter writing is how you are going to claim this for your coming year. Now, I shared a little bit last week. Sometimes our letters are amazing, like we read them at the end of the year, and we're like, wow, I did all of that, and that was amazing. Like, how did I know? And then we also have years like I had, where you open it up and you're like, wow, that's still aspirational. And that's okay though, right? Can we make space for that? Can we make space for the places within us that are dreaming larger, that are willing to step outside what we know we can accomplish and do, but to step into the God idea of what is ours to become? I often say that if you have something that speaks to you, like, oh, I feel called to do X, Y, or Z, and if it feels like something you already know you can accomplish and you can do it, it's not a God idea. It's not a bad idea. It's a great idea. Do it. But there's a difference between a God idea and my idea. A God idea will always kind of terrify you. It'll always make you kind of go, I'm going to do what? I'm going to be able to accomplish that? Because what the God idea is doing is asking us to step into something larger than anything we could ever imagine right now. Because we are infinite beings. We have so much available to us. And all the stories that we tell ourselves, and all the stories that the world tells us, all they do is narrow our focus so we think that we can only accomplish this much. I want to invite all of us to take the blinders off and to throw the doors wide open and to allow yourself to have a new dawn within yourself, truly making the new year a new beginning. And so I have this quote from Maya Angelou, Lift your eyes upon this day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. How many people in here have tried to dream something into being and felt thwarted, felt frustrated? Be brave. Step into it again. Listen from your most authentic self. And if it's still there and it's still speaking to you, just say yes. Be willing to be a completely different human at the end of 2024. One who has accomplished things, one that has stepped out in ways that you couldn't even have possibly begin to understood was even available to you. Chris and I just watched the movie, it's on Prime, I think, which is about the Cheetos, fiery, smoking hot Cheetos, right? The janitor who got the idea to add spice to the Doritos and the Cheetos and all of that, and what the process he had to go through to actually convince the upper management that this Hispanic Mexican dude who was a janitor actually was going to unlock and save the Frito-Lay company. Save them, closing down plants left, right, and center. And they start adding hot, spicy picante to their snacks, and it explodes. That's what I'm asking you to step into. That idea that you can actually transform yourself, and honestly, most importantly, we're here to transform the world, right? This world, this beautiful world, is so in need of our gifts, of our talents, of us showing up in new ways. I'm going to take a sip of water because something got in my throat. Now we're going to distribute the white stones. So everybody is going to get a white stone, and you're going to get a marker for it. Thank you. Everyone in their program should have gotten a piece of paper and an envelope. So what I'd like you to do right now, while you're waiting for the white stone to come around, is write your address on the envelope. And if you're not sure that you're going to be at that address next year, just make a little note next to it that says, please confirm, okay? But on the envelope, write your address. It's amazing people get confused. So your address, we are going to mail them to you. And your name. Thank you, Lynn. That's the president of the board reminding me what details we need. We need your name, too. If you didn't get a paper and envelope, just raise your hand and the ushers will come around and make sure that they get one to you. And I want to try to get some of the busyness out of the way so that when we step into the meditation, we're able to really stay in the space. We're going to move seamlessly from the white stone into the divine letters. So the white stone, you are looking for a word or a phrase that for you seems to speak to your most authentic self as to what you're inviting yourself to be this year. For the divine letters, I want you to think about you at the end of the year writing this letter to yourself right now. I want you to describe and say what you have accomplished over the year from the perspective of having fully lived it. Yes? Does that make sense to everyone? All right. So does everyone have a white stone? If you don't have a white stone, raise your hand so we can make sure that they get to you. Okay, this section is there. We're working on this section over here. For everyone else, I want you to kind of clear your laps. Put stuff on the chair next to you. Because again, our human mind wants to answer the question for us. And I really want to invite us into a sacred container. So let's take a breath, shall we? That was a lot, yeah? And you can kind of shake some of it off if you want. And we're going to let ourselves become still. We're going to open ourselves up to the very breath. We're breathing in and we're breathing out. And we are breathing in and we are breathing out. And we're letting go of any preconceived ideas about what we think this could be or should be or ought to be or supposed to be. We're just allowing ourselves to touch the very center of our beingness. That place, that space that is all love. That is all possibility, that is joy, that is compassion. And as we breathe as that space, that place in consciousness, the invitation is to allow yourself to be open to the dawn, the new dawn that is breaking within you. Allow yourself to see whatever your stories are, and they may be really good stories. I just want you to see them falling away, cracking open, and something is emerging and birthing. Something new, something powerful, something that is yours, uniquely yours. And just allow yourself the question, what word am I naming and claiming for 2024? What is the one divine idea that I am willing to allow within myself to be more fully present and palpable? Who am I being invited to become? And we're going to rest here for a few minutes in the silence as we listen. What is that word that is birthing within right here and right now? And in your own time, the invitation is to write whatever you caught on your white stone. And if you didn't catch anything, just keep breathing. Maybe there's a feeling that you're experiencing. Maybe there's something that you can begin to catch the edges of. Not all of us hear words. Sometimes it's an image. What word would you give that image? Maybe it's a color. What does that color mean to you? just write that word on your white stone. These stones actually come to us from Jerusalem, from the same quarry where the Western Wailing Wall is built from. And just continue to listen as to how will this white stone word, how will this grow for you? How will it impact your 2024? What are you going to accomplish? What are you going to be able to do and be? And how are you going to show up in the world? And in your own time, I'm going to invite you to write your letter. I start mine always, dearest Deanne. What is it that the you at the end of this year on December 31st, 2024 wants the you now to know is possible? When you're ready, you want to take your letter and seal it in the envelope. Make sure that the envelope has your name and your address on it. And just so you know, the prayer chaplains hold these letters in consciousness throughout the year. They're prayed over, prayed on. They're held in the prayer field. Anybody as excited about their letter as I am? So I'm going to invite you to hold your letter in your hands. And I want you to think about your white stone word or phrase. I want you to think about everything that just poured forth onto this page. And just allowing the certainty of that to fill your heart, to fill your beingness. Allow yourself in your bones to claim the truth of what this year will be, of what this year will bring. Allowing a space for you to be surprised as to how this magnificent white stone word is going to show up for you. Take a deep breath with me. Now we're going to place these in the offering basket when it comes around. But before we move into that, I want to do a little thing, because you know me, I like this. So, has everyone got their white stone word? Yes? All right. So, right now, quietly to yourself, just say, I am, and then whatever your word is. I am self-mastery. Now we're going to say it just a little bit louder, a little bit more assurance, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3. I am self-mastery. All right, we're going to do this one more time. Everybody ready? A little bit more assurance, a little bit more yes. 1, 2, 3. I am self-mastery. Now we're going to stand up. Because we're getting this in our bones, right? We're getting it in our bones. All right, so we're going to say it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I am self-mastery. Woo. Now open your arms up and say it again. I am self-mastery. Now I want you to introduce yourselves to each other as your power or your word. Just go say, hi, I am. Introduce yourself as your power or your word. Hi, I'm Self-Mastery.
Oh, I'm Connected.
Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, I love you. I am Self-Mastery. Nice to meet you. All right, so let's turn around and we're going to say it one more time. What we are, all together, arms wide, nice and loud. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I am Self-Mastery. And we say, and so it is.